5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're live.
Hello and welcome to ITSR Twisted Cup Tuesday nights live at MW Productions, and this evening going to go to the Richmond International Raceway for the Virginia 144. Hello everybody, my name is Evan Posoko. Joining me up at the broadcast booth this evening going to be Michael Keaton, and drivers going through their qualifying session right now, trying to put down the 2 fastest laps as we prepare for a 144 lap crusade. A little bit of short track racing here this evening, but before we get forward to tonight's race, a little bit of results to get you guys caught up on. Last time we were in action 2 weeks ago was at Darlington. The Lady in Black, 124 laps was the distance for that race, and it was Jose Gonzalez, after starting on the outside of row number 1, able to lead 108 laps to make it back-to-back trips to victory lane. Rich Jett able to come home in the number 2 position. Scott Simley finished that race in 3rd. Stefan Marinak in the 4th spot. Matt Lacrosse coming home 5th. Jay Horton in the number 6 spot. Doug Roth able to come home with the 7th place finish. Douglas Wyatt coming home 8th. 9th belonging to Ben Burnett. And the biggest mover inside the top 10 after starting 21st is Stephen Herring, rounding out the field. And then take a look at the championship standings after that. Jose Gonzalez still at the top of the board with 320 points. Matt Lacrosse still 2nd at the championship standings right now, 24 points back. 27 back is C.J. LeVere, sitting at a 1 win this evening, 27 points back from Jose up at the top. 37 points back is Stefan Marinak in 4th at the championship standings. Brian Harvey sitting 5th, 59 back, as well as John Wilco, 59 back as well in 6th. Brandon Chaburko, 7th at the standings, 64 back. 66 back is Douglas Wyatt in 8th. 9th is Stephen Herring, 72 back, and Ben Burnett rounding out the top 10. And we're getting ready for some races. We're going to go down trackside now for the opening ceremonies.
New shoes, and I don't know where I'm going to. Silk suit, black tie, and I don't need a reason why. They come running just as fast as they can. Every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Watch, diamond ring. Oh, I ain't missing on a single thing. Cornflakes, stick pin, and I still don't know to do you in. They come running just as fast as they can.
Hey, look here, beavers. You better hide your wives, hide your husband, and look here, both of you hide your kids, because we're coming.
Every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Top hat, and I don't worry 'cause my wallet's fat. Black shades, black gloves, looking sharp, looking for love. They come running just as fast as they can. Every girl's crazy about a sharp dress man. don't need a reason why. They come running just as fast as they can. Every girl's crazy about it.
Qualifying has drawn to a close and the cars are getting ready to hit the grid for this 144 lap affair. We're going to run you down the starting order. On the pole going to be C.J. LeVere entering tonight, already sitting on one win so far this evening. He'll get to get another one as he starts from the number 1 position. Scott Sibley going to be starting outside him in position number 2 at a number 68 machine. Those drivers making up your front row. Row 2 going to be LD Sarabia on the inside in the 3rd starting position in the 11 car. Brian Harvey alongside him in the 66 going to be starting in position number 4. Jay Horton in the 83 going to be starting in the number 5 spot. Mark Bratcher going to roll the 46 off in position number 6. Rich Jett going to be starting 7th in his number 36 machine, and Luis Rodriguez in the 47 going to be starting 8th. Row 5 at the inside of that lane going to be Edison Lima Jr. in the 3 machine starting 9th, and Frank Coons, last driver to take time, got around out the top 10 in his 48 machine. Stefan Marinak in the 24 starting 11th on the inside row number 6 alongside Matt Lacrosse. Alongside him in the 21 machine starting in 12th. Josh Cheney at number 14 starting in unlucky number 13th spot alongside Nathan Little up at a high lane. The 98 car Goodway rolling off 14th. And the last row of the field here this evening, J. Randall Watkins in the 15 starting position inside of that row in his number 77, and then John Wilco in the 62 going to be starting 16th. That is it, 16 drivers, a short track, so maybe this race can have a recipe for a lot of green flag racing because there is not a lot of cars, and of course obviously this track being very small, Richmond, you're going to have to negotiate for some space, so maybe the smaller field size will attribute to some green flag racing. The track itself, Richmond International Raceway, before we get going here, located in Henrico County, Virginia. Capacity crowd of 97,912, owned and operated by the International Speedway Corporation. Opened in 1946, the track itself an asphalt surface at 0.7 miles, so 3/4 of a mile in length, 4 turns, 14 degrees is the banking in the turns, 8 degrees on the front straightaway, and 2 on the back straightaway. So 104 miles is going to be the distance after 144 laps. The field now rolling down the back straightaway, and the 16 cars are now grouping up behind the pace car as we go down the back straightaway. Lights are off, so we're getting ready to go. Green flag racing here as the field paces through turns 3 and 4, and pace car going to stay on the track. So once again, going to go one more time around this track, a little bit shorter, so lights will remain off, and we will go green this next time around. Talking about the guys on the front row, CJ LeVere obviously in the number 1 spot, sitting on 1 win so far this season, 3rd in the championship standings, and Scott Simley again started on the outside of that row number 1, and he is not currently inside the top 5 in points, at least not having really the season that he has been looking for. Your ports leader, Jose Gonzalez, not here this evening in this race. And something to notice is you guys see those Toyotas out there, the Toyota Camry Gen 6 cars, recently new to the iRacing service, and first one I see up there is that 6th place car, the 46 of Mark Bratcher, boarding that Toyota. Just to give it an eye on tonight. Pace car now dives down to pit road, field in the hands of CJ LeVere as they come at it off the corner. CJ LeVere on the loud zone. Green flag is going to fly, and we are racing at the Richmond International Raceway. CJ LeVere opens up about a 3-car length lead over Scott Simley. It's a side-by-side battle for the number 4 spot as one machine dropping quickly. LD Sarabia, after starting 3rd, he's dropped back all the way behind Mark Bratcher and has to settle into about the 6th spot. We have a big group of cars, though, battling around the number 9 position car. And according to the 1 car spinning down the front straightaway, the 14, able to hang on to it. 1 more car around as well. That's the 46 of Mark Bratcher. Turned around on the front straightaway, a solo spin. We just talked about him in the Toyota. No caution going to be thrown by race officials as both those cars, him and a 14 of Josh Cheney, had problems coming out of turn number 4 on the first lap. Josh Cheney was able to hang on to it, and Mark Bratcher went all the way around as he starts to get back up the speed. No caution as both those cars spun relatively on the low side of the racetrack, so we remain green. CJ LeVere is able to open up a 3/10 of a second lead over Scott Simley. Right now, Scott Simley sitting in the number 2 position. Now a caution's going to fly as trouble on the track, a whole bunch of cars torn up, but some smoke down the back straightaway, and trying to get tabs on the cause of this most recent caution. But we are going to slow them down here on lap 4 after a rather hectic opening laps. There's a lot of confusion. We had a couple cars again spinning down the front straightaway, no caution, and then it is the 46 of Mark Bratcher again. As we talked about, he spun out of 4 by himself, got back going, spun out of 2 by himself, got into the inside wall, came up above that yellow line, and stopped. And that brought out the caution, and he came out, and he's already brought that machine behind the wall. So the Toyota in the field here this evening, the first Toyota up in the front of the line after starting 6th, has a lot of trouble early and spins twice. Rich Jett going to be the first car to lead us down pit road, and the Godzilla Chevrolet, the 36. And the majority of cars behind him, a couple guys stay out. J. Randall Watkins and Louis Rodriguez decide to stay out. But about half the field going to come down pit road for service. And a lot of these guys coming down with damage that they need to get fixed. Again, a couple of incidents there, and a caution was eventually thrown as Mark Bratcher went around for the 2nd time. I'm taking a look. The 98 of Nathan Little has damage on his machine as well, and he got into it with the 3 machine, and he spun down the back straightaway as well. So there could have been a handful of incidents there all at about the same time. But a bunch of cars, about 3-4 cars at least with damage. We had a couple spinners, and under a quick caution flag. Again, we saw the field not really get extremely spread out, but a very, very small field here this evening. Not a lot of cars in the field. Again, 16 drivers started it. Mark Bratcher already out of the race after having a couple of early spins. And Edson Lima Jr. right now, the only car sitting 1 lap down to 3 machine with some damage. Nathan Little has lost the front end on his 98 machine. So couple cars got to come down, get their service repaired. They'll come down pit road and try to stay in there, get as much repairs as the iRacing service will allow them, and then once that field comes back at a turn number 4, they're going to get back going, so they remain on the lead lap. Race leader, still CJ Lavera. Again, he had about a 0.3 of a second lead over Scott Simley in the 68 machine, sitting in a number 2 position, and then Brian Harvey was in 3rd, and weren't really spread out. 0.3 is a lot more on a short track per se, because the track a lot smaller. It was about 2-3 car lengths, and then the gap between 2nd and 3rd, it's just Simley and Harvey, was about 0.5 of a second. So CJ Lavera really never had to put up with a lot of competition there, and the field is now doubling up down the front straightaway. We're going to be going black-green, it appears, unless there's a delay in this, but it does appear we are going to go back-green to take lap 9 of 144. Again, you're watching the ITSR Twisted Cup Tuesdays live on MW Productions and Pasoka broadcast booth here this evening at Richmond International Raceway. After an off week, last time we were racing was the Lady in Black Darlington, and this evening a little bit more short track racing before we go to the big boy tracks next weekend. Pace car down to pit road, coming out of turn number 4, Lavere. Again, the control car is going to go right at that restart box. Green flag is going to fly, a little bit of a tire spin there, but he's still able to get to the number 1 spot. Scott Simley is going to assume the 2nd position, and 3 wide for 7th into the corner. That's the 14 of Josh Cheney, who is forced way up to the wall. There's the 21 going to go to the bottom. That's Matt Lacrosse, 3 wide now, down the back straightaway. Josh Cheney going to be the big winner, trying to get it done on the outside lane. The 21 of Matt Lacrosse on the inside is going to pick up a spot, but those 3 guys absolutely just split. The 47 of Lou Rodriguez, he continues to drop now as the 77 of J. Randall Watkins trapped on the high side. Still on the high side is the 77 of J. Randall Watkins up there on the top. As the 62 real sideways down the front straightaway, John Wilco into the grass. He's able to hang on to it, but that's not the first time that we've seen a driver lose it or nearly lose it. Coming at a turn number 4 seems to be a troublesome spot on the racetrack right now. He's able to hang on to it, and now the 48 off track. Frank Coons spinning, and he's into the wall down the front straightaway at the start-finish line. The back of that machine torn up. Another car with trouble coming at a turn number 4. And now Frank Coons going to go down a lap that's only going to leave 13 cars on the lap, but no caution. ITSR officials going to keep the race under green flag.
Yeah, and Evan, sorry folks, just joining in the broadcast with Evan here. I had a phone call that I had to take. But I was actually able to see and watch the race right here in my monitor. And Evan, it looks like it's been a good one. We had, there was a big wreck earlier on that tagged, I think it was the 98 car, and of Nathan Little, and we just seen the one go around there, but no caution coming out on that. So I'm kind of surprised on that. But I guess if you can keep it below the apron, that they may not waive the cautions here at Richmond.
We've seen a handful of guys spinning coming out of turn number 4, the car getting real loose, and 2 out of the 3 cars that went around out of turn 4 was that new Toyota machine. Frank Coons, the latest one to go around. Again, you talk about you spin below the that yellow line or off the racing surface, no caution, but I mean, he spun, got the wall at the start-finish on the outside wall, and then drifted down the racetrack, and he was right in front of the, blocking the field. Obviously, race leaders weren't right on him, but that could have turned real ugly. But again, ITSR officials not throwing the caution, the sim not going to throw the caution, and we remain green as they try to get this race going. And this thing has the potential to blow by very quickly, as it is a very small and condensed field for this evening's race. 36 of Rich Jett just making a pass now, and the 83 of Jay Horton. So a couple of position swapping mid-pack right now, but CJ Lavere, check it out, number 1 spot, 2-second lead right now over Scott Simley.
Yeah, CJ Lavere getting it done, noticing that he did start from the pole, and Scott Simley, as you mentioned, is second, about a little over 2 seconds behind him. CJ has a nice little car here at Richmond. Of course, anything compared to 2 weeks ago, when we were at Darlington, he would take, finishing 15th, 26 laps down, caught up in a big wreck there. So we've had the break. I think the tempers have kind of settled down from the Darlington race where there was only 3 drivers on the lead lap. And we're here at a track like Richmond that we could see some tempers flaring after this race, but perhaps maybe not, as there's a caution. Cheney, the 14 car, I think, brought this one out. No, just ahead of Josh Cheney. Look like Jay Horton got loose off of 2, where you said most cars have been getting loose off of. It looks like the 98 of Nathan Little may have gotten the arrow loose there. And look directly behind them in the yellow rim wheel 14 of Josh Cheney looping around as well.
Yeah, corner exit has been atrocious for these guys. Much like Darlington, with the cars getting sideways, they don't really have any chance to save it here. And it looked like as soon as that 98 mark car moved up to the outside lane, Nathan Little, the 83, got sideways. So did the 14 behind him. 83 pounded the wall. The 14, Cheney, sneaks by behind him, and caution is going to fly. All the leaders going to come down pit road after a split decision on the first yellow. CJ LeVere going to lead us come down to number 4 machine, and that 2.5-second lead has been extinguished early on in the going, lap 22, and they're going to take lap 23 as they pass the start-finish line down here. CJ LeVere goes to go down again. His pit stall, the number 1 stall down to the end of pit road, nearly in turn 1 because of how small this racetrack is, and looks like right side's up at number 4 machine. He's going to go for a 4-tire stop. Yes, the left side's going to go up as well. Packet full of fuel. Do we see any strategy calls? No. It is LeVere going to lead us off pit road, and Scott Simley takes out the cone to squeeze out Brian Harvey. Matt Lacrosse, and then the 24 of Stefan Marinak go top 5, no changes as they leave the pit lane.
Looking through the field here, Evan, at some lap times throughout the race, we've had 21 laps, now make it 22 laps, where they've had a chance to show kind of what they've got, and the only driver right now that's got a 20.7 is the man who leads the race, CJ LeVere. Anyone else is 20.8s, and there's just a handful of drivers that's in the 20.8 range, Evan. Most of them are in the 20.9 and 21 second lap time range. So that just kind of shows you the strength of that Ford Fearless Racing fusion of CJ LeVere.
Yeah, so right now, CJ LeVere at the top of the field right now. You see the 48 in front of him. That's Frank Coons. He is 2 laps down, and then the 62 of John Wilco 3 laps down. They're going to wait for the one to go and take that wave around, so not able to take their pit this time by, but maybe hope for another quick caution, do that, and try to slowly regain some of the laps here and try to get back into contention. Again, you can have a little bit of damage at this track and get away with it. Richmond definitely not the most aerodynamic, demanding racetrack that we go to. When you compare this race to next week when we will be going to Talladega, that is a whole different story as this first segment starts to wind down here again this week in the Virginia 144, and then next week the Quick Car War Eagle 84 when we go to Talladega. So about 4 more races, including this evening's race, to close out this first section. And current points championship leader Jose Gonzalez is not currently on the racetrack right now. He is not in this evening's race. So Matt Lacrosse, second in points, sits 4th on the track right now. He's 24 back, and then CJ LeVere, who is 3rd in the standings, 27 back, sits in 1st. So right now, they're both fixing to make up, probably end up tied with each other or so, considering separated by about 3 points and about 3 spots on the racetrack, but definitely wanting to close in on Jose as we try to get this race back green flag racing. We are doubled up now down to back straightaway. CJ LeVere going to be the control car again, choosing the inside lane. Is number 4 Ford Fusion, the 68 of Scott Simley, going to be on the outside as we enter turn 3.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if you're as consecutive and as winning as Jose Gonzalez is, 3 wins of the season so far, you can kind of take a vacation break as we go back to the green here, where CJ LeVere may have a vacation of his own here at Richmond. So far dominant tonight with a little battle here in 4th spot with the 21 car of Matt Lacrosse, Brian Harvey. Harvey's going to hang on to the 3rd spot for now, but he's got a Fearless Racing teammate behind him as now he'll be passed by the Gigabyte Toyota, Stefan Marinac. And taking a look inside this Toyota, I tell you, Evan, I'm sure you've seen it. The cockpit, wow, that little hump over there, I can't get over that.
Yeah, it's definitely new to the iRacing service. I'm sure a lot of these guys picked it up. I'm surprised we don't see more of them in the field because remember when they first got the Fords in here, it seemed like more than 50% of the next race, whatever league you were in, were changed. But we do have a couple guys sporting the Toyotas. Nice to finally get all 3 of the main manufacturers on the iRacing service. You talked about that 24 car, Stefan Marinac, able to make the pass on the 66 machine of Brian Harvey this time by as he tries to close in on the 21 of Matt Lacrosse. Matt Lacrosse sitting in 3rd. Again, CJ LeVere checking out already to just about a 2nd lead. It is 0.8 over Scott Simley, who's still putting up a valiant effort sitting in P2.
Now, I'm not 100% sure about this, Evan, but if we went over Edison Lima Jr., the 3 car, as caution comes out, let's see. 66,
Harvey.
Brian Harvey, yeah.
At a turn 2, not a new story, didn't catch the wall, no contact. He's able to lock it up. Oh, it just kisses the inside wall, but avoided a lot more damage than what we've seen other guys. Top 5 car, once again, going to go around. That turn 2 and turn 4 have really been a pain for all these drivers this evening. Maybe a very loose setup on quarter exit.
Yeah, going back to that story on Edison Lima Jr., you know, if you go back and look, the 38 drivers that's made a start in the ITSR Twisted Cup Series, he has not made one start at all. So I was just kind of wondering if he may be filling in for the points leader, Jose Gonzalez. So we'll have to kind of try to get confirmation on that.
We're going to step away and take a quick commercial break here under this caution flag as some leaders going to go around pit road and some of the guys in the back going to come in and top off. You're watching the ITSR Twisted Cup Tuesday nights on MW Productions. We'll have more from Richmond after this.
And welcome back to the Twisted Cup Series live on Tuesday night here. About to take us back to the green is the man who's pretty much led the entire race, C.J. LeVere, in that Ford Fusion Fearless Racing machine. Green flag in the air. And we're 34 laps complete out of 144 again at Richmond International Raceway, where Frank Coons in the 13 position is slow on the restart there. He's finally getting up to gear. And as the leaders come around to make a lap here, Evan, single file, and now we got one loose on the front stretch. That's Josh Cheney, fourth spot. The 14 spins her down in front. Man. Stretch on grass. Whew. And he got loose in the tri-oval.
Again, and he was able to keep it off of the inside wall. No yellow. We heard the number 3 machine come over the radio. That was Edison Lima Jr. talking with Frank Coons. Frank Coons with the damage, and the 3 had to let that 48 go on a restart. 48 obviously can't get up to full speed, and that's actually going to get a penalty, I believe, for the 3, as the 3 is now coming down pit road. Have to see what that's all about. The 48 comes in behind him, and it is a stop-and-go penalty, it does appear, for the number 3 team. So that was a big checkup for the 47 of Luis Rodriguez, and he's going to get passed by 2 cars at the same time, 98 Lathan Little and the 11 machine of LD Sarabia going to go around him. So Rodriguez and the 47 going to drop back to the number 7 spot. The 36 Rich Jet going to go around him now to the 8th spot. So something not right under the hood, or something is wrong with the 47 cars. He continues to just drop after that restart. Very slow. Didn't really look like it was tire spin, but did not get going at all. Held up a lot of the field, and he's getting blown out of the water here around 10th.
Man, I'm going to tell you one thing. These guys aren't quite sure of this coming off of 4, coming off of 2 type. I just saw the LD Sarabia car, the 11 machine, coming out of 4 get loose, kind of resemblance of what Josh Cheney did there. And I also saw a lap or 2 ago Rich Jet coming off of 2 nearly lose it in front of a couple of cars. So, and the 48 car, Frank Coons, just lost it coming out of 2. No caution though.
Yeah, it's this setup very uneasy for these drivers, and it seems like pretty much
J. Randall Watkins. Sorry, J. Randall Watkins loose out of 2, spins it around, Evan.
Again.
Smacks the wall. Oh, he hit it hard.
Heavy front end damage to the 77 machine down the back straightaway, and slow on the apron, but no caution again.
Wow. And he's down pit road.
But the 3rd spin that we've had in a row where there is no caution, and dictated by the sim, and then if race officials deem that they really need to, they will throw a yellow if there's a major incident. But the lack of cautions per se by iRacing in this evening's race has definitely been surprising, and that's why you only see 11 drivers still on the lead lap right now. And the last car on the lead lap is Josh Cheney, who again was running top 5 and had problems of his own. So a very, very messy race. The only guy that's really doing real solid, C.J. LeVere. Haven't really seen him do a lot, but again, he's not really driving it as hard as he could coming off the corner. So it seems like these guys, again, very uneasy on corner exit for sure.
Yeah, he's closing in on Josh Cheney. Josh is loose. Hits the wall down on the back stretch.
Man.
Caution. Oh, buddy. Josh is just going to lose it coming off of 2. And
he had just come over the driver chat to notify the drivers that he was going to come down pit road that time around on that lap. And again, just I'm trying to take a look at the onboard, not doing anything. It just steps out and you don't even stand a chance.
I know, it's like, you know, that's what I looked at. I looked at his entry. I looked at his coming off the corner. He was kind of easy on it, and it's like it just looped around. And this is going to give an excellent opportunity, obviously, for the leaders to come back down pit road. And I wouldn't be surprised here, Evan, if Matt Lacrosse, we hadn't had too many laps pass by since the last caution, but and I got a feeling we may not see the last one tonight. So look for the 21 car, Matt Lacrosse, maybe to take right sides only here. Let's see if he makes the call.
we will have to see if we get any sort of strategy calls. CJ Lavere, obviously the first car into the stalls. At 21 of Matt Lacrosse, left side tires only. Going to be the first car off of pit road. CJ Lavere and everybody else appear to stay in for 4 tires. Get a lead change. Matt Lacrosse, 2 versus 4. What's going to work? We're going to have to find out, because Matt Lacrosse, the first driver to really play that tire strategy here this evening, that's going to put him up at a number 1 spot.
Yeah, how about that, man? I kind of thought in my head, Evan, that he may do something like that to try to swing this race a little bit. We're not even halfway home yet, and Matt's got to be thinking, hey, you know, we've ran somewhere in the neighborhood of 10, little more than 10 laps, maybe 12 laps here. 10, 11, 12 laps under the green. But he took less sides only, so that's a different approach.
And typically, I mean, we haven't seen anybody do the 2-tire strategy quite yet, so we don't know how well it's going to work. So the 21 is our guinea pig per se, but typically if you see somebody go with a 2-tire change, maybe they're sitting maybe around at the number 10 spot, you know, trying to pick up some ground, try to get some track position. Matt Lacrosse was sitting second, but he came down and making the 2 tires. Going to put him up at everyone's spot. Maybe he feels like if he can get that clean air, then he'll be able to thrive. So we'll have to see how successful he is in that. Again, the 2 cars in front of him, the racetrack lap machines of Edison Lima Jr. and the 3 machine making his debut in the 62 of John Wilco. Wilco only 2 laps down as he sits right now on the racetrack. So again, not quite halfway home yet, as we are approaching lap 50 of 144 laps. 108 miles is the distance in this evening's race. It's been all CJ Lavere. This is going to be the first time that we're going to see somebody else lead us to the green flag. So let's see how that 21 does it.
Yeah, and the 62 machine out there with that burgundy-looking race car, John Wilco, is 2 laps down, so he stands to get 1 back here. So he'll go down to 1 lap, but he didn't get the pit. Also looking for the wave around here is the 3 car of Edison Lima Jr. as he now gets his Chevy in gear to go around the pace car. Edison is 9 laps down, so now he'll be 8. But where we're looking at is right here, this bright yellow looking green car, I guess you could call him, Matt Lacrosse.
A highlighter.
Yeah, highlighter. That's highlighter Lacrosse. Perfect. Let's take a minute and highlight that 21 car. Well, I think he's already highlighted for us. So, as the pace car dives down and nearly hits the water barrels, did you see that? As the 21 car takes us to the green.
Pace car getting loose out of 4, able to hang on to it down the road. And the drivers are going. The 21 of Matt Lacrosse is up there. Oh, big run for the 4 of Lavere to the inside. Bye-bye to number 1 spot. No, the 4 holds his ground. 21 trying to hang on to the top lane. Not going to get it done. Oh, that lane is sideways. Oh,
there he goes.
Of CJ Lavere's around on the bottom. He's saving.
Digging too deep.
Split it around. He tried to get back going too fast. On the inside lane, spins it around, and Stefan Marinak to the number 1 spot as he's able to get around Matt Lacrosse, as CJ Lavere, who looked like he was the most stable car this evening, but he didn't have to worry about too wide. First time going too wide, and that inside lane bit him, and he's going to go all the way back to the tail end of the lead lap.
But the puzzling thing is, Evan, his line was perfect. I mean, the pass was perfect. Coming off the corner looked great. It's just like the car got loose, and we've got a heavy smoker in front of him. That's Edison Lima Jr. has smacked the wall, and his day may be done.
Yeah, the 3 just gets loose going into the corner, nearly comes down in front of the 48, and just smacks the wall. These cars are not trying. I don't know what's going on. We're side by side, though, for the number 2 spot. Nathan Little trying to get around Matt Lacrosse. Lacrosse at the outside lane in that highlighter number 21 machine. 90 to Nathan Little on the inside lane. Can't quite clear him, but made a lot of headway and should be able to get it done here in 3 and 4. He does. Can the 68 get there? No. Lacrosse shuts the door in positions 2nd through 5th, bumper to bumper, as Matt Lacrosse tries to get away and try to chase down our new leader against Stefan Marinak in a 24 gigabyte machine. No, another caution now. Trouble on the track, and another car.
It happened quick. It happened quick.
Really nice call.
I'm trying to. I think it was Frank Coons in the 48 car. Indeed, it was. Yep, coming into the corner. Saved it. Halfway through the corner, lost it. Overcorrected.
Loose on corner entry now too.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on with these guys.
It's Evan. It's the new wheel paint.
It's the wheel.
It's the wheel paint.
Balance of the car.
It really is. It's adding weight. the paint.
We'll have to get some insight on that after the race.
Yeah. Well, I guarantee you that it's from the top down, buddy. It's everybody. Everybody's having a tippy toe on the ice here at Richmond.
Now Matt Lacrosse enters pit road 3rd after trying to go for that 2-tire strategy call, so don't think we're going to see that one again as he dropped back quickly, but Stefan Marinak going to be the first car into pit road out of our leaders that come down pit road. A couple of guys already in their stalls for damage repair as the 48 man is having a rough night. Frank Coons, at least 3 or so incidents and a lot of damage. 24 Marinak goes for 4 tires. Nearly gets beat out by Matt Lacrosse. Lacrosse can't quite get there, and it is going to be Stefan Marinak, but Matt Lacrosse going to jump skip Nathan Little, so Lacrosse leaves 2nd, and Nathan Little's going to leave 3rd. That's the way the top 3 exit pit road.
Yeah, and you know what, Evan? It could be some of that tornado weather that we've gotten in Alabama. Could be heading up towards the Virginia coast, I guess you could call it, Richmond. And man, but the wind here is only 5 miles an hour. So you know, you could think that if it was around 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, it could be messing with these cars.
60-mile-an-hour winds. That would be interesting.
Well, obviously there's something going on here, and like we said, it's from the top down, from the bottom up, top down, bottom up, man. CJ Lavere, we saw him. You know, we thought that maybe it was everyone but CJ, right? And then we found out quickly that it's everyone, and everyone's burdened by it. Everyone's having a tippy toe, so it kind of puts everybody on ice skates. As Josh Cheney earlier, guys, took his car off the track. Remember that self-spin there? Trying to get down, actually coming down pit road, or saying that he was going to come down pit road and just got unlucky there and brought out one of the cautions here that we've had. And now Stephen Herron has just been given the EOL penalty. Car set to get their lap back is J. Randall Watkins, and he will be on the lead lap.
And now it's more of a battle on the racetrack as opposed to the other guys that you're racing, because again, it's not like an isolated thing. At first I'm like, okay, well, 3 Toyotas have done it in a row, but now everybody is spinning, coming out of 2, coming out of 4. Now they're starting to spin, going into the corner. Very, very loose setup. We're going to have to see how they do this. Matt Lacrosse way up to the top of the track under here as we come out of turn number 2. Getting ready to go back green this time by to take lap number 62. So still closing in on the halfway point. It'll be about 11 laps once we go back green until we reach the halfway point at lap 72. It is 144 lap affair. How does Marinak negotiate this restart? Pace car dives down to the safety of pit road, and he's off right away. The green flag going to fly. No speed for Matt Lacrosse. Caught sleeping. Nathan Little going to throw it in for 2nd.
How about that? Nathan Little. Look back here. Oh! Woo! Look at the 11 car sneaking in there, trying to get up under Little there. Oh man, they're just on thin ice here. They're on ice skates.
Man,
It's NASCAR hockey, buddy.
I guess. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, just sideways in the middle of the corner, able to hang on to it. But, I mean, they're on black ice here. I don't know, 66 is trapped on the high side. That's Brian Harvey as the 4 machine of C.J. LeVere tries to get around him. Again, LeVere was running very strong all night long up at the top of the field and spun going for the lead. And whoa! 83-47. Reckon at a 2. Caution. Gonna fly, and that starts with the 66 of Brian Harvey. I mean, I mean, not sure what happened. He lost so much speed coming off the corner, got loose, and got on the brakes. And then the 83 car of Jay Horton gets sideways at the same time, coming up onto the high side. And I mean, I can't believe what's going on here, guys. Another caution, and it's for the same thing.
Yeah, and this one's going to take out 2 more guys on the lead lap. Luis Rodriguez, Knight, Dunn, and obviously Jay Horton. He's got so much damage to that back end of that car. The one that's real lucky there is the... Let's see who it was. I think it was... let's see. The 66, Brian Harvey, is a tad bit lucky as he'll come down pit road to fix that repair. But I tell you what, Evan, it's we're halfway home now. Well, we're nearing the halfway point, and we've had somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 cautions.
And there's been more than 6 spins.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, some spins were in cautions.
Again, I just can't figure out what's going on with these cars on corner exit. And we're going to step away for a quick commercial break as these drivers continue to battle the handling. When we come back, we're going to get past that halfway point and get on the downhill side of things. You're watching the ITSR Twisted Cup Tuesday nights on MW Productions.
In a world where survival is the only rule, and feelings have no place, where winning is everything, and weakness is fatal, how much difference can one person make? That depends on the person. In every life, there is a line that cannot be crossed without leaving everything behind, except faith. Once that step is taken, there is no looking back, and all that lies ahead is destiny. There is no looking back, and all that lies ahead is destiny.
Back live here on the Twisted Cup Series Tuesday night racing, where the pace car is going to dive off here, and we're going to go right back to green flag racing with the Toyota leaving us to the green here. Stefan Marinac, as they double them up behind him.
Yeah, 36, Rich Jet now in the number 2 spot. Matt Lacrosse in third under a little bit of attack for the 68 of Scott Simley. Had a little bit of a run there, and they're going to remain single file throughout the top 10, and 9 drivers do remain on the lead lap. As closest cars right now is second and third. Matt Lacrosse about half a car length off the back bumper of Rich Jet. Trying to look to the inside. They both keep it pointed the right direction. 21 Lacrosse is going to have the run, and the quick car Chevrolet going to go up to P2.
And Scott Simley just got past. Let's see, Rich Jet there, the 36 car now, third spot. Oh, as the leader takes a heavy dive up, way up, yeah.
Lacrosse had to check up for him, and he's going to drop back now, and now you see he's stuck on the outside lane. He may get freight trained by all these guys on the inside lane. 98 trying to look for the run off the corner. Nathan Little can't get it done, I don't think, and Matt Lacrosse able to sneak back in line in fourth. Meanwhile, as CJ LaVere continues to try to charge back to the front of the field, as he sits in the number 6 spot right now on the track again. One of our race leaders spinning and is methodically picking his way through the field slowly but surely. Loses Rich Jet out of the corner. And now the 68 Assembly. It's a game of chess. They keep swapping spots here. As one guy gets loose, they make the pass, and you might get loose and they'll take it right back. But right now the 68 now Assembly goes up to the number 2 spot as Stefan Marinac tries to gain a little bit of space for the rest of the field.
Absolutely. Look back here with me in 6th spot. The 98 car of Nathan Little nearly gave CJ LaVere a run for his money there. Oh! As Rich Jet nearly spins it off too and saves it. What a save.
Got sideways. I mean, you look at it come off the corner. Gets a little bit sideways and just snaps. And he hangs on to it. A very good job of saving it. But he's going to go from the top 3 to 7th right now at a racetrack, as he is settled back in line 2 seconds back as the tricky conditions continue. What a move by Matt Lacrosse. Throws it to the inside on Scott Simley. The 4 of LaVere, man, up to the number 3 spot, charging through this in the Virginia 144. We're going to rename it the Black Ice 144 because they're not kidding. This thing is loose on a racetrack, and they are trying to battle through conditions. But I don't know, guys. CJ LaVere in that Ford, he's getting up there pretty quickly now that we passed the halfway point.
Yep, he got by Simley. Now he's got his eyes set on teammate Matt Lacrosse, and then just up ahead, not too far out, the Gigabyte Toyota of Stefan Marinac. He's running first, but he's not checked out too bad, as CJ LaVere may get an easy pass here. Matt Lacrosse, being a teammate, may give him the easy go by, as he looks like he's going to do in this corner in 1.
And 21 nearly scraped that outside wall. And the 4 is side by side. Remember what happened to CJ LaVere last time? He was side by side on the inside, and he took it a little bit easier there to turn 2. And can Matt Lacrosse get in front of him? No, not yet. LaVere now coming off the corner. Both cars pointed forward, and the 21 again scrapes the wall. Matt Lacrosse still hanging on to second, but we have been door to door for this number 2 spot the last 2 laps. And LaVere trying to get the run. He gains the ground, but he can't clear him, and then the 21 gets that run on the high lane. They keep swapping, but they're still side by side for number 2 spot, and this has allowed Scott Simley to close in and is allowing Nathan Little to gain on them as well.
During that, John Wilco spins off 2, pops the inside wall, smoke from the machine, his night, done. How about that? John Wilco fights, get his lap back, and then he smacks the wall, and then it ends his night. That's how quick it can happen.
And we've seen that happen to guys running top 5, where just make one mistake, you're out of the race, you're out of that hunt for the win, and that may have been a possibility for CJ LaVere, but he did a good job of saving it, not getting into the inside wall, and because of that, he's back up now in a number 2 spot. with the chance of possibly trying to get this race win now. As again, this time by, it is going to be 60 laps to go as Stefan Marinak up the front of the field in 24 Gigabyte Toyota is trying to pull away. It's 9/10 between him and LeVere, but LeVere starting to gain some ground on Lacrosse, starting to close in on Marinak up front.
Yeah, he is gaining. In fact, CJ 20.889 to Stefan Marinak's 21.1. So if he can continue to run laps like that, it won't be long. And in fact, this time by, Stefan puts up a 20.898. So and then LeVere hits an 8.99. So if Stefan can keep hitting these laps, then he'll keep the distance. But if we had a lap time differential like we had 2 laps ago, then CJ will obviously find his way towards being a leader again.
So do we see a little bit of a green flag stretch? We really haven't seen a long one so far to this point in the race as Stefan Marinak comes out of turn number 4, navigating it very well, but LeVere not blowing him out of the water, but slowly inching forward and has closed the gap into 8/10 after outrunning Marinak that last lap by, one car. Down on the inside wall, down the back is the 77 of J. Randall Watkins. Sideways out of turn 2. Saves it. Locks it up, keeps it off the wall. No caution. We stay green as he was running 1 lap down.
Yeah, he did a great job of keeping that car off the wall, and he's coming down the pit roads. Obviously, probably heated them right sides up, maybe blew out the right front, who knows. But he is down pit road in that 10th spot.
Battling for the number 5 spot, the 66, Brian Harvey has company, the 98 of Nathan Little with the advantage that time by the stripe. Nathan Little going to have the inside lane here as they go through turns 1 and 2. He will pick up that spot and move up and take sole possession at the number 5 position right now on the racetrack as Brian Harvey tries to get back to him, trying to regain that spot. LeVere is there. It is 23 hundredths and just over again 2/10 of a second between the top 2 cars. The 4 chasing down the 24 as CJ LeVere trying to chase down race win number 2 on this season, and he's closing in as Marinak still searches for his first. This looks like it's going to be a good battle up front. The 24 picking it up a little bit as he sees CJ LeVere in that rear view mirror trying to pull away, but the 4 slowly just inching more and more forwards.
Evan, I like to paint a picture for us up here in the broadcast booth, and I like to paint a picture for the fans watching and some of the drivers that come back to watch. Picture yourself on a June or July Sunday afternoon, not a cloud in the sky, 85 degrees, maybe a slight 5-mile-an-hour wind gust like we have here tonight at Richmond. You're sitting there on the pier, you've got your fishing rod in your hand, not a care in the world. You cast the rod out, and you're just sitting there, and here comes the bite. That's what CJ LeVere's doing to Marinak. He's reeling him in. He's got the bite, and here comes the reel.
I like that analogy there. He is. He's not.
Like that?
A lot of time you'll see, a guy will get there, and he'll overdrive it, he'll do something stupid and lose it. LeVere, not in a rush. He knows that he has time. It's lap 95 at a 144. He knows he's faster. He's taking his time. He's not going to force the issue. You're not going to throw it down in there to the corner knowing how loose these cars have been. He's just going to wait, try to set him up for the pass, and try to get that job done.
Exactly. That's part of the racing here is we're winding the laps down. 95 laps complete. We're going to take a gamble here and go to commercial break. Hopefully CJ kind of lays back here and continues to fight that 25-pound bass he's got in front of him, 24-pound bass in front of him, Stefan Marinak, in that Gigabyte 24 Toyota. We'll return to Tuesday night ITSR Twisted Cup Series live here at Richmond International Raceway. You're watching it.
in
Welcome back, where, folks, you missed the pass, but C.J. Lavere got around him safely. Stefan Marinac falls back to second. And Marinac now may have a battle behind him as Scott Simley looks to make the pass on the outside. Man, it looks like the 24 car just lost a wind cell, didn't he?
Yeah, the 68 going to the outside, not the most conventional place that we've seen the passes being made so far this evening, and unable to get it done, has to pull back in line, and now the 68 may have to worry about that 21 of Matt Lacrosse behind him, because Matt Lacrosse right upon the back bumper of the 68 Red Bull Ford of Simley. These three cars positioned second, third, and fourth. Put them under a blanket, about half a second separates the three, as no surprise in this, just like he did when he was leading in the opening parts of the race. C.J. Lavere already has about a second lead over Carson, second on back.
Didn't take him long, did it? You know, he led pretty much the hut. Oh! No! He didn't.
I was about to say, caution gonna fly. I was about to say he had it.
24.
As Stefan Marinac in the corner gets in too hot. Just couldn't get in time, overcorrected hard into the outside wall, and you battle so hard. He talked about it. You battle hard, you lead laps, and in a 3-second period, you can end up in the inside wall with a destroyed race car, and that's exactly what just happened to Marinac. Again, back under caution for that incident.
Man, you thought we thought that he had it saved, and you blink, and he didn't. He probably blinked in his car, and that's when he lost it. That's just a tough break.
Down pit road we go. C.J. Lavere gonna lead us down. And again, that gap that he'd opened up over what now second place Scott Simley of about 1.2 seconds will be erased. But he did enter pit road a little bit ahead of these guys. So do we see a two-tire call as inside the final 40 laps to go? Right sides up on both Lavere and Simley. These two drivers started 1-2, sit 1-2, so they have those last two pit stalls, and no challenge from anybody with two tires. Lavere can lead them off without issue. Lacrosse may get second. I believe he just squeaked Simley out. No, Scott Simley is going to beat him out and hang on to the number 2 spot.
So, the top 5 here, C.J. Lavere, Scott Simley, Matt Lacrosse, Nathan Little, Brian Harvey. Rounding out the top 10, Stefan Marinac is 7th, Rich Jett 6th, Jay Horton 8, LD Sarabia, or Sarabia, depending on what part of the country you're from, is now moved up to 5th. He was 9th. Jay Horton now 9th. Jay Randall Watkins 10th.
So does anybody have anything that can challenge CJ LeVere? He's been battle tested. He led up front earlier in the going. Tire strategy called for Matt Lacrosse to go to the number 1 spot. LeVere goes to take the lead back, spins it out, and then spins it out trying to get back up the speed. Gets a couple of cautions, picks his way through the field, gets to the number 1 spot, sets sail. Now a caution slows him down. Not what he wants to see, because if you got a gap, you get sideways, you don't feel as pressured to save it as quickly. You can take your time, regain control. You got a guy on your bumper and tend to go, you may overcorrect it, do something stupid, trying to save it too quickly, and have some problems. So this race could easily come down to a couple lap shootout. Comes down here towards the checkered flag, approaching 30 laps to go. But I do believe CJ LeVere may be able to walk away with win number 2 here.
Very well possible. Just depending on how bad one of his teammates want it, because that's who he's going to be dealing with. Scott Simley, part of that Fearless Racing team, starts 2nd. Matt Lacrosse 3rd. If you look back here in 5th, another Fearless Racing Chevy, Brian Harvey. So if you're pulling for the underdog, you got to go for the lead feet Chevy of 98, Nathan Little, who's had a little bit of excitement tonight. How much room would a teammate give if a teammate couldn't give room? About to find out.
He's off, and he gets a good start, no bobble from Simley. Unlike the last restart, which allowed to open a door for the car in 3rd, he's able to hang on to the number 2 spot. Matt Lacrosse still sits in 3rd, and bumper-to-bumper traffic from 4th on back. These 9 cars that have been able to remain on the lead lap, trying to duke this thing out. Oh, big wiggle, Scott Simley, what a save! Out of turn 4, got sideways, quickly corrected it. Matt Lacrosse, good job getting on the brakes and not running him over. But they lose time. The oh-so-fast CJ LeVere.
And it's really, Scott Simley nearly loses it out of 4, does a fabulous job saving it. That's going to put the battle, heated battle between him and teammate Matt Lacrosse, as Matt now looks underneath, possibly no room there. As these guys may battle in 3 and 4, Scott Simley to the bottom of the racetracks, and the caution's out. And,
Jeez. The 3 machine is up on the outside wall. That is Edison Lima Jr., but it does not start with him. The 98 of Nathan Little. Looks like he got sent in, but no, man. Need a replay of this. The 98, it has to do with the fact that he pulls up to the top right before he goes into the corner, offsets the balance of the car, but thing looks like the throttle stuck, just went straight into the wall. And caution comes out, and the 3 able to sneak around it. But man, what a strange spin. That car just absolutely lost total control. But it's got to attribute to that weird entry. He goes high and then goes low, and obviously, but I mean, that car looks like it got ran over. The way it slid in there. But no contact. A good half a car length between the 36 behind him, but what a strange incident. Sending Nathan Little around, and again, back under caution here late in the race.
Too bad. We're winding it down. In fact, get my Alabama calculator out here. 144 minus 117, 27 laps to go. We have 27 laps to go here. Richmond International Raceway. That's brought to you by Alabama Calculator.
And what a strange spin for a car that was already sitting with some minor damage. Nathan Little. Caution obviously coming out after he had those troubles in 4, and he was having a little bit of connection problems. So there's a possibility that may have attributed to the fact that that car spun so quickly. But we are back under yellow flag. You talked about your calculations. Closing in on the end of this race, not too far out from 20 to go, as you talked about. And LeVere doesn't like these short spurts because he makes one mistake, it's done. We know he has maybe the fastest car overall, but if he makes a small bobble, he won't have enough time to make it up anymore. So he wants to get out to a lead and go. Scott Simley, he's going to be knocking on the door there. As long as he can keep the handle of his car, I think he can put up a fight here on a short run.
He's going to have to put it up quick. That's the downfall, because we're running out of laps, and we're running a few here under caution. So if we can get this thing back going green, we may be able to see possibly Scott Simley or the 21 car of Matt Lacrosse make some sort of last-ditch effort approach at trying to dismount this 4 machine. And he's come back from a little bit of adversity. Don't let the CJ LeVere 4 car fool you up there with them red, shiny, bright rims. He spun on the front stretch and nearly looped it around again after trying to get it back under control. Did not bring out the caution, but got lucky with another spin from someone else and was able to stay on the lead lap, obviously, and get back up towards the front where he's at right now.
We are fixing for another restart. Again, the light's still on the pace car, the field beginning to double up, so we do imagine that they would go off this time by the start-finish line, and they do so. So we do prepare for another restart. We're going to be going green at lap 122, somewhere in the range of what I think is about 23 laps. To settle this thing, are we done with cautions? I'd have to say no. The way that this race has been trending, all CJ LeVere needs to do is nail this restart, and it makes him that much easier for him.
So here we go. Let's see what Simley can do here. CJ taking us to somewhat of a slower start here. And he'll nearly lose it there.
Leave.
Oh, man.
And a big group of cars nearly contact for second and third, as Simley was right there, but Matt Lacrosse was all over his back bumper, side by side behind them, between the 66 of Harvey and the 24 of Marinac. Back to back. Oh, 21 sideways. Matt Lacrosse, another car.
LeVere.
Race leader CJ LeVere spins at a turn 4. He saves it. Scott Simley is your leader. Wow.
Oh, my mercy. Coming off a 4, Evan. Just coming up the track, and I do not see.
One car on the outside wall.
Who was that? I didn't even see that.
Having a lot of connection issues as that machine didn't quite catch the number because it was blinking in and out. But we will
oh, man.
get tabs on that car that spun into the outside wall, bringing out this caution. But, man, CJ LeVere spins out from the number 1 spot, saves it again. But unfortunately, I think it's too late for him to make a charge. Brian Harvey is going to be the car that goes around. And that car goes to the inside of Marinac, gets into left rear, and blinks out. So a little bit of connection issues, electrical problems for Harvey. And obviously he's not on the racetrack right now, but Scott Simley may be able to sneak this one out. LeVere comes down pit road. Jay Horton does as well. But just had to hang on to it, and it was run restarts too many for LeVere.
I tell you what, folks, that's unbelievable. And Scott Simley's going to have his chance here to bring this field to the green flag with oh so mighty close to the checkered flag. And Harvey has checked out here. Electrical issues on that car. That's the one that brought us under the caution.
I still can't get over the night that CJ LeVere has had. It's 7th right now. Not done. But he's going to have to drive like a bat out of hell. He does have fresh tires. But leading, spins, gets the spot back, and spins after, again, repetitive cautions force him to continuously try to run away and hang on to that position. And maybe it was one too many. He lost it. Did a good job of saving it once again. But now finds himself on the outside looking in. One of the last cars on the lead lap, sitting 7th. 8 cars remain on the lead lap. Bear's going to be inside on what is going to be the 4th row for this ensuing restart. Again, there is time. Somewhere in the range of maybe 16, 17 laps when we go back green, but he does not have a lot of time. And a caution is going to take up a lot of those laps that he needs, but if it stays green, I don't think he's going to be able to make up the distance. So LeVere's going to need a little bit of help. He wants to get this thing, get the checkered flag. He's going to need this caution to fall at the right time, and he's going to have to be real aggressive. And with a racetrack that has been as treacherous as this, and when you're holding off guys from the race lead, and you're pedaling it, trying to hang on to it, I'd keep an eye on what that 4 car does here in these closing laps.
Yeah, he may be trying to blow up through the field here. The good news is LeVere's in 7th. He's going to start 7th in this restart here. And he's not, he doesn't have that too many people to work through. If he can get by maybe 3 or 4, who knows, we may have another caution. And he can restart 3rd or 4th. And you never know. I mean, it can make it, it's very approachable. But the man who's probably biting at the nails here is that 68 car Scott Simley. He's got the control of this restart. He's got Rich Jett to the outside. Matt Lacrosse, who's kind of been racing Simley a little bit hard here these last couple of laps. And then you've got Stefan Marinac, who's been the second, who's had probably the second most led laps here tonight. So he's got some competition.
Here we go. It is Scott Simley. He's going to wait a long time. He goes, the 36 spins at the front of the field.
There you go.
Into the outside wall, and they all hang on as Rich Jett with a big tire spin and nearly takes out the whole field somehow. Everybody able to hang on to it, and it is LD Sarabia is moving up. Stefan Marinac in the number 2 spot, but Scott Simley has a huge gap that he wanted to get on this field. LeVere at the 5th. Oh, contact! The 11 machine and the 21 nearly get into it in turn number 1. They hang on for now, and CJ LeVere stuck behind these guys trying to claw his way up front.
Ooh, buddy.
Look at LeVere. He's flying, and he's trying to get 3rd from Lacrosse to the inside. Can he get it done? Coming off of turn number 2, he does. CJ LeVere, the 21 to Matt Lacrosse with a wiggle, nearly takes him out. And the 11's going to go in and, contact! LD Sarabia just turns into Matt Lacrosse. Now he's sideways out of the corner. They hang on after the 11 dive bombs in and nails Lacrosse. And man, they hang on. And now look at the lead. It is a couple car licks, but Marinac gets loose off the corner. Simley hanging on for dear life. It's wild. Jeez.
Stefan Marinac is literally car lengths away from taking this one away from Scott Simley, but it's not over until you know who sings. And she's warming up. Oh! Caution out as Scott Simley nearly loses it out of 4. Rich Jet in the Godzilla car has claimed the wall.
Yeah, the 3 car, and man, the Rich Jet, the 36, was up there in contention for the win again. Spins the tires, next thing you know, he turns up on a lap car. 33 laps down is the car that he turns into. And a hard hit for Rich Jet all the way on the outside wall, all the way through to the corner. Back under yellow. DJ LaVere might win this race. Scott Simley stays out. Everybody else thinks about it. Top 3 stay out. Jay Horton comes in from 4th. The 11 machine of LD Sarabia comes in from 7th. Now we find CJ LaVere, who
in 3rd.
Laps ago tragically lost this race after getting sideways. Did what he needed to do, drove like a bat out of hell, made the moves. He's going to be right on our leader's bumper inside 10 to go.
Absolutely, and we're going to take you to a quick commercial break here. You're watching ITSR Twisted Cup Series Richmond International Raceway. I got to go get the popcorn cooked. And we're back, where I just was able to start to turn the doorknob to go out to make the popcorn, and I heard Mike Woolley say, "We're back." So now the popcorn is burnt, but it doesn't matter. This is still shaping up to be a good one.
The light's still on the pace car. Right now, I don't even think you're going to be able to eat the popcorn. You'll probably just toss it in the air. We don't know what is going to happen. We call CJ LaVere the most consistent. He spins it. We've seen everybody spin. Nobody really has a handle on this track. And now Scott Simley is presented with an opportunity to win. And we have to mention this again, as we always do, but this is a short track. No green-white checkers. 144 laps. Once we take maybe lap 140, 141, a caution will end it. Lights go off. We're going to go green at 139. So if we don't see a caution the first lap or two, as soon as that caution flag does fly, if it does fly, the race is done. But it's going to come down to this restart. We've seen a lot of guys be spinning the tires, and this is going to be interesting, to say the least.
Well, here we go. Scott Simley, for the second time, going to lead us to the green flag here at Richmond. And he's got the open door policy here, as it's a slow but steady one as he nearly spins it, gets up in front of Marinac, puts the block move on. Here comes CJ LaVere to the inside.
Can he get it? Oh, the 98 throws it.
Pinch him!
Matt Lacrosse hangs on. Simley tries to pitch him. CJ LaVere to the #1 spot as we're beating and banging from there on back side by side for second. CJ LaVere might just pull this one out. He's got the lead at 5 to go.
Is this
Rec Center 2. Right of 4, sorry.
Is this Ronald McDonald? Is this Ronald McDonald Elementary Park, or is this Richmond International Raceway? I think if you're going to win this race, you got to pinch him down there. You got to get down there in his grill. Scott Simley gave him way more than enough room entering that corner, and that really just allowed CJ to obviously just blow right on by, take over the race, and I don't think, now we've seen CJ twice suspended on his own here, but he may have his act together now.
And then they stayed side by side for the number 2 spot as Marinak made the pass on Simley, which allowed LeVere to open up his lead just a little bit more, and the gap between LeVere and Marinak, who's the car in second place, is just over half of a second. If a caution were to fly, obviously this race would end as we are within 2 to go. Matt Lacrosse had a couple close calls, restarted 4th. He sits 5th right now, trying to pick up a couple more spots here as this race comes down to the end. It is a battle for second. Scott Simley is there about a half a car length off the back bumper of Marinak. Does he make a move in these closing laps? Oh, the 21 of Matt Lacrosse. Oh, wrecking down the front. He gets into the 98 of Nathan Little. Little blows the engine. The white flag is out. There are no more cautions as the field starting to scatter and wreck, but it is going to be CJ LeVere. He came back twice from the back of the field, and he's going to win it at Richmond. And Simley spins across the stripe. We're wrecking everywhere.
And it's over.
CJ LeVere gets the win.
It's official. CJ LeVere wins. Stefan Marinak second. Scott Simley will finish 3rd. You're watching the ITSR Twisted Cup Series, where it's been one wild one. One to remember. The Richmond International Raceway, the Virginia 144. Excitement in the air. CJ, the 4-car, wins in a dramatic fashion. We're going to take the last commercial break, and hopefully we'll have the interviews, the top 3 drivers tonight. You're watching, again, ITSR Twisted Cup Series live Tuesday night on MW Productions.
Hi, I'm Todd Malmstrom, driver of the 75M Ford Mustang GT. This is what I do by night. And this is what I do by day. I sell new Fords, and I've got the best selection of used inventory that you could ask for. Come see me down here at Central Ford.
Are you tired of getting hassled at the dealerships? Looking for a salesman that knows what he's talking about? Are you looking to buy a new or used car? Then look no further! Sexton Ford Moline, Illinois has the biggest selection of new or pre-owned vehicles, and Todd Malmstrom is the salesman you want. Todd is an expert when it comes to cars, and if you don't believe me, then you should see him race on a Sunday night. With his top-notch professional customer service and expertise, he will make sure you go home in the right car for the right price. No hassle, no haggling. Todd will make sure that you're happy when you leave the lot with your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, Sexton Ford may be the talk of the town, but so is Todd Malmstrom. If you're in the market for a new ride, then buy one from a winner. Todd Malmstrom at Sexton Ford Moline.
Back live where we just finished up one exciting race here at Richmond International Raceway, the Virginia 144. CJ Lavere claims the victory, but Scott Simley would have a good run, so would Stefan Marinac. And in fact, Evan Pisoko has finally caught up with that 68 car of Scott Simley, who finished third tonight.
And definitely the car in pretty good condition after crossing the stripe sideways and spinning through the grass after he tried so hard to get that number 2 spot. And we are here with the driver of the 68, Scott Simley. Scott, first of all, walk us through those final couple restarts. When you had a look, you were in the lead and ended up coming home third. What all went down?
Yeah, it was a little tough on the restarts. It's definitely, you got to watch it. I mean, you can pick either second or third to start out, and some people start in third, some people start in second. I just feel like I lose so much momentum when I start in third, so I kept starting in second, and I lightened my fuel load about 2 stops ago, thinking that was the last one, and I don't know. I thought it would have tightened it up because the car was really, really loose pretty much the whole race, but I don't know if it helped it as much, and if anything, it made it too tight in the middle, but it was tough. It needed more green flag runs to happen to see what if I could have gained any more spots, but.
And every driver, we were considering renaming this the Black Ice 144. Corner exit was very, very hard, and those cars were super loose all night long. What was making the car snap, and how many close calls did you have with that?
Oh, I know I had 20 close calls there, especially coming out of Bloor, like you said. You almost sometimes, depending on how you come out of the corner, I'd almost have to breathe it almost across the checkers. Somewhere in there, otherwise if you carry so much speed out of there, it wants to come around even there.
Definitely, and able to walk away with a third place finish, second top 5 on the season. We'd ask you about what your strategy would be going into next week, but that's Talladega. How are you going to approach that one?
Got to survive to finish, so just like tonight, I mean, the big thing was just to survive. It's so treacherous that you got to take care of it. But
it definitely, I was gonna say, like you said, much like tonight, you gotta be there at the end to fight for that win. What do you think the difference was coming down that separated you from that first finishing first as opposed to where you were in third?
I guess the longer green flag runs. It takes me a while to get in a rhythm here. I just get too edgy right away, and right away the car, especially for the first 5-8 laps, it's pretty snappy. So you just gotta. I need more laps.
Definitely. Well, congrats on the top 3 finish. Any shout-outs and sponsors you want to give a thanks to?
Yeah, ITSR for doing a good job with the league. Michael Woolley Productions, and you guys do a great job, and Hippie's Paint Shop.
And Everville 10-4. Congrats on the top 3 finish, second top 5, and we'll be looking to see if you can get that first win on the season next week.
Thank you.
It's Scott Simley, driver of the 68, and also alongside with the driver of the 24, and that's Stefan Marinac coming home second, 1 position short. Stefan, you led a couple laps, but again, coming off the corner was a struggle all night long. What do you think really was attributing to that?
The setup was just really snappy. I was telling the guys on TeamSpeak the straightaways were a lot harder than the corners were. But when I wrecked, I don't know what happened. I drove it in and got caught in a drift, and it ruined my right front, which was actually a blessing because it tightened the car up, so I didn't have that problem anymore. And I think that's how I got the second, because those guys were sliding off the corners there at the end, and I was able to get in the throttle because of the damage I had. It tightened the car up a lot.
You started outside on that front row, coming to the final restart, obviously having an opportunity at the win. CJ was able to sneak around on that inside to get it. We know that we saw you up front. He had a car that he went back and he was able to come back up to the front. Where do you think maybe you were missing a little bit, that 4 had a little bit of an advantage on you?
He was better than me at gripping getting some traction off the corners, really. That's where he was making up all his time coming off of turn 4. Like, I couldn't get any momentum on the front straightaway. I had to stay way out of the gas, and he'd make up 1/10 of a second a lap on me. So yeah, whatever he was doing on that part, it was really helping him.
You excited for next week going to Talladega?
Yeah, I like super speedway racing. It's a lot of fun, unpredictable. So we'll just see what happens.
And definitely well put on a show, led laps, come home in second, not too bad. Again, you talked about the points, unable to sneak that first win that has still eluded you, but got to feel good matching the highest out of anybody so far this season with 5 top 5s so far in the season. So another solid effort. Still looking for that win, I'm sure, but any sponsors and shout-outs that you want to throw out there too?
Yeah, ITSR, Hibby's Paint Shop, MW Productions, you guys, Quick Car for sponsoring, and Axo Sanitary.
Definitely 10-4. Well, good luck next week, and who knows, we'll be looking for that 24 up front. Guys, that is going to do it down here. Again, we talked to Scott Silly and then also Stefan Marinak, driver of the 24, able to come home second. Keith, we sent you down there, and I believe the celebration's going on in Victory Lane.
Absolutely, and CJ LeVere, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. And I think maybe you spun a third time. Heck, it wasn't easy, was it, here at Richmond tonight?
Oh no, the car was out of control, but it was fast. It was really fast. You just had to treat that gas pedal like eggshell, and a couple times we didn't treat it like an eggshell. We got around, got lucky and didn't get into any damage or hurt the car at all. Drove back to the front a couple times. Can't even believe it.
Yeah, and CJ, let's talk about, sorry I had to get my question there together. Let's talk about the last run. I know you when you first spun, obviously I think it was by yourself coming off turn 4 through the front stretch there. We know about that, but let's talk about coming up through the field at the very end of the race, where Scott Simley would lead us to the green there, and I think you were somewhere back in the neighborhood of 7th. And we had another caution when you fell in and then you got when you moved up to 3rd. It's not easy moving up through a field like this when you Rich Jett, I think was the root of that first caution there. It wasn't easy moving that machine through the field tonight, was it?
All the cards kind of fell in my hands. Moving up through the field, a couple guys had got loose where I wasn't getting so loose as they were coming off the corner. I got more grip coming off, and I was able to go underneath them, and that was where everything kind of fell in my hands. On that last restart, Scott kind of spun his tires. I didn't spin mine so much, and he kind of, when he spun, he came up and blocked Stefan. So I was like, there, wow, I got an open lane, and it stuck. It just worked out perfect. I mean, everything. It was like rolling the dice, and it said number 4 on it tonight.
I like that. And of course, always next week, Talladega, strong track there. You got some teammates here, obviously, that you'd like to thank too. But Talladega, the track where you need a teammate to do it at. And as you mentioned, the talks about Dega, let's talk about your sponsors too. Throw them out.
Yeah, Talladega is going to be a fun track. It usually is a lot of close racing. Looking forward to it. Our team usually thrives very well at super speedways. A lot of guys that's what I think we do pretty well at them. Anyway, I also got to thank all my sponsors: Axo Sanitary, Hippie's Paint Shop. I got to also thank MW's Productions, Quick Car. I got to thank all my drivers here at ITSR. Without them, we wouldn't be here. And we have good fun, and come out and check us out. We run every Tuesday and Thursday.
Absolutely. Thank you, CJ LeVere. Winner tonight here at Richmond International Raceway. Wasn't easy, but he claimed it. And Evan, final thoughts here at Richmond tonight.
Very strange. Again, we knew that it was going to be a little bit of a loose setup coming in, but the drivers really had to battle in, and almost a Talladega style mindset, and that is you had to survive to be there at the end. CJ LeVere able to pull it out after losing that number 1 spot with just about 20 laps to go after getting sideways for the second time this evening. Able to walk away with it, and I think the fastest car once again makes it to victory lane.
And again, thank you as always, Evan Pasoko, joining me up with the booth tonight. And Obviously, we couldn't get anything done without MW, Michael Woolley, MW Productions man in charge here, pushing the buttons for us tonight, making all these fancy camera works happen, and putting up with me and Evan here in the broadcast booth. It's been a great one here at Richmond. We'll see you next week. My home track, the the War Eagle Talladega Racetrack next week. We'll see you.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks and terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
DGVertec.net's primary goal is to provide you with a successful website presence. They have purpose-built their web servers successfully throughout the years. The stress testing has been done so that they can provide you with an enhanced web hosting technology that they design for using future standards today for tomorrow. They offer 24/7 support for all web hosting plans. Their team answers support tickets 24/7. So if you have a problem at any time, an agent will be more than happy to help you. If you're not satisfied with your service within 7 days, then you can get a full money back guarantee with a 99 uptime guaranteed as well, with plans for shared hosting starting at just $2.95. It's clear to see why DGVertec should be your choice for web hosting. Just go to www.dgvertec.net today, your web hosting solution.